Most of us spend our entire lives running a background program we never actively installed. It dictates how we talk in meetings, how we handle our bank accounts, and how we react to criticism. We operate from a psychological posture of survival, treating our daily lives as an endless maze where a wrong turn means total collapse. This schematic of the amygdala shows the physical hardware behind that program. The engineer Jack Parsons noted that this deep survival reflex branches out into 4 specific fears that paralyze human action: the fear of incompetence, the fear of the opinions of others, the fear of hurting others, and the fear of insecurity. Trying to brute force a positive mindset with fake-it-till-you-make-it tactics only paints a thin layer of confidence over the system. Underneath, those deep, pulsing logic gates are still running the show, constantly scanning the environment for threats to your social or financial survival. As long as your self-worth is tethered to external validation, behavioral tweaks are insufficient. Replacing the entire operating system is the only way to move past the survival script. The first step in overriding that code is separating your identity from your biological avatar. Most people view themselves as a vulnerable body moving through a dangerous world. This perspective can be shifted to view the self as the vast, untouchable cosmic space in which that avatar exists. The teacher Robert Adams frequently instructed his students to stop acting like victimized human beings. He urged them to stand tall and assume the identity of a deity, realizing that even a heavy weight of panic is just an occurrence happening within the space of the self, rather than being the self. This identity shift is grounded in the mechanics of vibratory attunement. Scientist Itzhak Bentov observed that every living being produces an electrostatic field, and stronger signals naturally entrain everything in their proximity. In this model, the external world acts as a mirror, rendering a reality that matches your specific internal frequency. Changing your underlying being is what allows the screen of reality to change. True power requires abandoning the identity of a threatened animal and recognizing yourself as the source of the signal. To boot up this new sovereign software, you need power. We often mistake willpower for a painful struggle against our own desires, but it is actually the raw electrical current required to run the machine. Paramahansa Yogananda mapped how this current works. He taught that willpower is the physical mechanism regulating the flow of life energy through the body. This diagram of the nervous system illustrates his energization concept. Yogananda designed exercises to train the body to act as a biological capacitor. By applying intense, focused will to specific muscles, you teach the brain your conscious intention is the true source of your vitality. You can apply this energy immediately through a linguistic shift. Whenever the brain runs the victim script, "I have to go to work," overwrite it with the architect script, "I choose to perform this function to optimize my avatar's hardware." Actively claiming responsibility for the action neutralizes the feeling of being trapped. Taking conscious control over your physical body is the absolute prerequisite to rewriting deep subconscious code. With the hardware energized, you can install root-level code. However, this is difficult while the brain is in its normal waking state, where survival alarms are at their loudest. This chart shows the transition from the jagged beta state of stress to the smooth alpha state controlled relaxation. The Silva method uses systematic countdowns to lower the brain's frequency. Once in alpha, you are behind the firewall. The plate technique links your attention to a new focal point, loading the reality script you want rendered next. Lowering these frequencies allows you to distinguish between functional biological reflexes, like dodging a car, and psychological survival fear, such as the fear of being poor. When you use affirmations like Ein od milvado to realize that your essence is totally separate from these psychological threats, you undergo the great death of the ego. This psychological threshold strips the system of fear. When the mind realizes the identity of the sovereign cannot be lost, you become outcome independent. The world loses its leverage. This brings up a philosophical paradox. If you have deleted your survival software and you no longer need anything from the external world to feel whole, why participate in the game at all? The answer lies in the concept of Leela, or divine play. While the terrified avatar works because it is afraid of starving, The sovereign builds businesses and creates art because they are curious to see how the next level of the game unfolds. Osho modeled this as Zorba the Buddha. It is a state where you fully enjoy the riches, food, and triumphs of the physical world, while maintaining absolute internal detachment as the witnessing observer. Mastering the mind is not about retreating from life. It is about returning to the world to play it as a deliberate, joyful game. The sovereign state is like walking a narrow beam suspended over an infinite drop. You move fearlessly, recognizing the drop itself is a projection. In this state, miracles are found in ordinary moments. Thich Nhat Hanh taught that when you wash the dishes, you simply wash the dishes, staying intensely present with the water and the soap, immersed in the current frame of reality. To maintain this presence, you can use the 4% flow trigger, stretching your skills just enough to stay engaged in the task without attaching your identity to a future result. By deleting the survival software, you can stop playing defense. You trust the universe to render your reality, step fully into your character, and enjoy the music.